Oh, hopefully it's going in the right place. Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's Jenny Norris. Welcome to Homestaging Talk Show Live. You are tuning in. Let us know you can hear us and see us because we have two different pages. We're streaming this to both Homestaging Talk page and Homestaging Talk group. And the way Facebook does it is that then you can't see who's actually commenting. So make sure to let us know who you are as you tune in. So welcome to Homestaging Talk Show Live. And Jenny Norris, your host. This show is a weekly segment. Sometimes we take a week or two off. So I was gone the last couple weeks because I was sick, feeling much better. My son, our youngest son, did get COVID. Didn't really have a severe case, but I got sick and my niece got sick. And so I tested negative twice. So I never actually tested positive. But after the second test, they're like, stop coming in. You can get a blood test to tell yourself if you have antibodies or not. So anyway, I'm glad to be back with you. We've got a great show today. Got fabulous John Reagan joining us again as we talk about staging hits and misses. We're going to talk about the proper use of artwork today, which is so important. And so before we get to that, I did want to share some updates, of course, and some announcements. First thing we're going to talk about is, of course, our conference coming up in September. So the SOAR is our theme, SOAR, Seek Opportunities and Rise and Reach New Heights of Success is what the SOAR, the theme is. So we want to soar to new heights of success and reach new heights of success, seek opportunities and rise is what SOAR means. So it is a family reunion because we are a family. Looking forward to being together at the fabulous Gaylord Hotel in Denver, September 24th to the 26th. And again, if you're tuning in, oh, good, you can hear. Thank you, whoever posted that. So get your reservations. We do have special rates available through our conference website. This event is going to be live, so there's no chance of canceling it. And the hotel has assured me and our leadership that they are able to have groups as much as 1,000 people in the fall. So we're really excited about that ability to be together live, and I hope you are as well. And we have a great lineup planned, confirming some of our speakers with you. But to just start with, I'm going to play 3 of our keynote speakers. The first one that should hopefully play, show and stream. Let's see if this will go and play.
Hey, this is Johnny Fowler, and I want to teach you guys how to use social media to gain more business. Join me at the International Association of Homestaging Professionals Family Reunion 2021 Conference and Expo coming up in Denver. Yes! Join me as I teach you how to use social media the proper way to gain more influence, to get more business, and to have your wares shown to the whole world. I want to put you in front of more people than you've ever been put in front of before. I want to show you how to get to your customer. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you live and in person in Denver. Yes!
Okay, so that's his promos. I would have 2 more. So there is something with the sound, and so I apologize. I don't know how to fix that right yet, but I'm getting a feedback a little bit. So if you hear like 2 voices, just go with it. Here is one of our other keynote speakers. This is
Stay relevant.
Okay, this is Robbie.
Instead of becoming redundant, which is also the basis of the conversation in my new book, Pivot.
Oh, hang on a second. I gotta hide him. All right, good old technology. Okay, goodbye, Robbie. Let me do this again. I got to start it at the beginning. I guess that helps if we're doing these. So this is sort of a new ability through our live broadcast is being able to show the videos. So let's get this to go. So hopefully this will work.
Hey, this is Johnny Fowler, and I want to teach you guys.
It's Johnny again. Sorry. You're like, Jenny, get it together. Okay. All right. Well, Johnny's amazing. So Johnny is a great social media guru. He's so knowledgeable. So who I wanted to play for you is this one. Looking forward to having Johnny there. So he's going to be amazing. All right. Here's the next one. And there is, hopefully. Why do I keep pulling Johnny in there? Okay, hang on a second. Oh, here we go. All right. Now listen, this is another keynote. Here we go.
Hey everybody, it's Ravi, and boy am I looking forward to seeing you in person this September in Denver, Colorado at the IHOP Family Reunion. And what a great reunion it'll be because we can finally do it in person. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm going to talk about how do we stay relevant instead of becoming redundant, which is also the basis of the conversation in my new book, Pivot, Empowering Yourself Today to Succeed in an Unpredictable Tomorrow. A special edition of that is going to be available to you at the conference too. So don't miss out. Register right now because this is going to be a wonderful event in a beautiful location. I'll see you in September in Denver at the IHOP Family Reunion.
All right, so that is Ravi, and so he has the book Pivot. Johnny Fowler's book is on um, something about the cubicle, but he's social media and being a boss of your business type of thing. And so they both will have their books there. Chris Widener, who I can try to play his video. I'm just going to have to talk to Be Live to find out why there's feedback. But Chris Widener, he is our business keynote. Robbie's mindset, Johnny Fowler's social media keynote, and then we have an exciting announcement coming with our inspirational speaker keynote, which will be coming very shortly. So here's Chris Widener.
Chris Widener, and just want to remind you that the IHASP 2021 Family Reunion and Expo is coming up quick. You better click on the buttons below. Make sure that you get registered. I'm excited to be your keynote speaker where we're going to talk about how to create a big impact business. From my latest book called Lasting Impact, How to Create a Life and Business That Lives Beyond You. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. So be sure to click and register today.
So let me hide that down there. So the three keynotes, we have the video. So I apologize again that the syncing, it might be a delay because it's the video from what I'm seeing on my end as the host of the pulling the video in. But anyhow, you guys can go to our different Facebook pages and so forth, the public pages. You can see and learn more about them. Chris Widener is one of the top 50 motivational speakers in the world and has been recognized as such by people that rank motivational speakers. And he's written 22 books. Lasting Impact is his 22nd best seller. And somebody of his caliber coming to speak at our event is really a privilege. He shared the platform with Zig Ziglar. He's had a television show with Zig. Was a protege with Jim Rohn. He's done work with John Maxwell and other leaders in the industry. And so really looking forward to having him with us live. So we're looking forward to that. So you can register now. The VIPs, you will have the opportunity to have meet and greets with our keynotes. There'll be some general meet and greets as well. And then, of course, we have our gala awards dinner, which will be on Sunday. So get prepared for that. I expect to see some fabulous outfits, so don't disappoint me. Costumes, of course, are optional, but hopefully people will come and have some fun. Hey, everybody, good morning. And so that'll be on Sunday night. So we're going to wrap up with our big party, big event with awards and recognition. And so get registered. And again, you have to go through our conference site, which is ihospconexpo.com. And then we have special rates for the hotel, which is so beautiful. And that time of year, they'll have it decorated really nicely and sort of be, it'll be fall here. So you'll see some color, but it won't be cold. I say that, but of course, we thought it was warming up here and we just had snow again. So you never know, but it'll be really great. We're looking forward to being together with everybody. And then, of course, our designation we're giving out is a sales and marketing specialist, the SMS. So some of our keynote speakers, like Johnny Fowler's session, would be part of that. We have other people sharing. We have Joanna Leary, who's going to share on marketing. Joseph Hecker, who'll be sharing on marketing. So their sessions will be part of the SMS. And so don't want to miss the conference because you're going to learn a lot about how to not only market your business, but also how to extend that reach, add value to your clients, and how to offer ways to offer exposure marketing to them that endears them to you and creates loyalty. Because in a competitive industry, we all of us want to retain our clients. And let's face it, there's people coming in who are, they can do it for cheaper because they don't know better. And we don't want to have that happen. So being able to add value in other ways is super important. Then we have our advanced stager training, which follows the conference. This is going to be September 27th and 28th. So the 2 days following conference, it is a workshop style intensive, if you will. 2 of our keynotes have agreed to join us there. So we have Chris Widener and Johnny, who are going to do special sessions with our advanced stager attendees. And it is a collaboration of education, interaction, learning from other business owners who are at 6 figures or above. So if you're there, you want to be there because you're going to learn a lot, whether you're in 7 figures or 6 figures. A lot of the issues that we deal with are very similar as far as growing pains and logistics, and also things that people have figured out how to create a better mousetrap, if you will. And so we talk about these things so that everybody can benefit. And so it includes meals, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Plus learn tons, and again, learn from experts who will be joining us for those 2 days. Our magazine that came out for April, if you missed it, it was all about color. And so for those of you that are like, I didn't get the link, I didn't get my email. First of all, if you're watching and you're a member of our association, everything was sent to current members. So if you're not receiving information from us via like constant contact or emails, that's probably because you either opted out, or it's going to spam or social. Like, how Gmail parcels out the primary, social, and then there's a third category. So you need to be checking those, because that's probably where it ended up. And it's also, the links are posted in our private IHOSP group. So it's on our private chapter groups and pages, those things. It is posted where it's private because it is for our members. It's a benefit of membership. But it was a great issue on color. We had Joanne Leonard-Weary do an article, and Barb Schwartz did an article. Catherine Swan interviewed 3 members about how they've incorporated the use of color, talk about color trends, color in general. So if you didn't get that, you can look for it on our private platforms on social media, or check your emails to make sure you're getting info from us. It's important. So we're working on the May issue. It's going to be another great one. Our magazines always come out mid-month, and so just look for that. What else do we have? I think that is pretty much everything I have. So with that, let me bring on my partner in crime here, Reagan.
How are you guys?
John Reagan.
Hi, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's been a busy day
Nice to
already
have you
for
with
me,
us.
so.
Week has been nuts. I put a thing out last week. It was like I said, last week scored a 20 because there was 20. The team did 20 stagings, de-stages, and consultations. And then this week we're supposed to be like 22, but I took 2 of them off and moved them to next week because they're not ready. Because that's a lot. And we have like 12 or 10 vacants this week, and then 9 pickups. So it's a lot.
That's amazing.
People calling every day. Yeah. So one of the things, and you being a realtor, we were just talking about this before the show came on, the importance of the proper presentation of the property, even in a hot market, and how realtors, quality ones, are going to put the effort out. And so tell me what you've just done recently, and we'll hopefully be able to see those pictures when it goes live.
Well, I actually have 6 new stagings that are and listings that are coming on next Thursday.
6?
6, yeah, which is a little fun at the same time. And today I'm doing their Matterport as added value, and we're talking about added value and that means added commission, of course, for me. But I offer Matterport services. I own a 3D Matterport camera, and then that and a new feature they have that I love on the tour is that you can click on any wall and get room measurements through the tour, and then I can order a floor plan, which today's buyers really, really, really like. So and then I'm going to be doing I use the Ricoh 360 camera, and I do those 360 tours that I can send out those links to agents. Especially right now, it's so you have to get to a listing so quickly that this is at least they're seeing this is their first showing, and they come in and many times before we have an offer when they walk in. So, but that added value is really important. And then of course I work with a lot of photographers, and then we're always there with the photographer for pictures because I'm OCD and very picky. It's just how it is.
It's your
I'm not even
reputation,
embarrassed
though.
by it anymore. It's
No, because it's your reputation, and so I mean, that's where I wish a lot more realtors would understand is that when they put photos out there, and if we have time today, we'll take. Well, I guess next week we're going to do is the thing on the bad MLS photos, things that are actually listed for
yeah.
sale, marketing a house, and I mean, when you see the pictures, either lousy quality, poor angles, terrible pictures of things that they're showing in there, and that's the realtor's reputation. And I wish they would pay more attention. A lot of them would pay more attention to the fact that the product that's out there, yeah, it might sell, but it represents back on them. So you being, OCD or picky is, well, really, it's about caring about your reputation and making sure that your seller gets the best experience and the best offer.
Well, this is the most important investment for many people, regardless of the price point. So home staging can help any home appraise for more.
Yeah.
Because especially right now, we're getting crazy offers. I mean, I lost 3 offers last week, I believe, from buyers, and one of them, the house was a tear down. The land was mostly swamp, and we went $31,000 over list, and we didn't get it.
Wow.
Yeah, slow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen a market like this. But for people who don't think they need home staging, I totally disagree with that. And for a home stager, guys, if you're not part of the MLS where you can search out these disaster homes, shame on you, because it's not that expensive, and it is really worth the investment, because you can really pound those vacant ones. Anything on this market that's been on the market over 30 days is ripe for home staging, and there still are homes like that.
And I don't know that every stager can, like, if you're not a realtor, if you can join the MLS or not, but there's certainly ways, like, let's say you're not able to do that. There's ways you can still search on the MLS, because it's the publicly listed part of that. Here, I think it's called RE Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
So you can search for the properties, and you can see, search for areas, price points, days on market. There's a lot of information you can get. And so if something's been languishing on the market, hasn't sold, there's a reason for that. And we just actually staged a property that was virtually staged, didn't sell, a little condo. And, there's a reason why real staging is needed, and that the virtual, even though the furniture they put in there, I mean, it didn't look bad, but it just wasn't real. And when people were walking in, especially these smaller properties, and then it's empty, and they're like, nothing's going to fit it, or it's too dark in here. That was one of the comments. It's too dark in here, because it was a garden level condo, which means you walk up to get into the building, then you have to go down. So it's almost like not cellar level, but it's like CELLAR, like a cellar, but it's not at the street level. And so it is darker because you don't have as many full size windows letting the light in. So anyway, staging is so important.
Well, and for that little virtual staging plug, I will tell you, as a realtor, I've never had a buyer walk into a home that was virtually staged that didn't feel cheated, and sometimes angry. So
right,
it's just not worth it, because the first price reduction will easily be more than what it costs to stage the property. And staging is an investment, not an expense.
Right. Staging is an upfront investment that helps you maximize the rate of return on the sale of your house. We can quantify that with our statistics.
Yes.
So you could teach the class, which is so good. So today we thought we would talk about artwork and the importance of the proper size and scale and use of art, and why it makes such a big impact, because I'm seeing a lot of really nicely staged rooms, and then the artwork is teeny, or it's non-existent, or there's some other issue with it. And so as stagers, we can, we're not telling people you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff, furniture. There's partner companies you can rent things from, the big pieces. However, as a stager from the very beginning, the things that I started adding decor wise was, silk plants and artwork, and the soft goods, accent pillows, and so forth. And so as you start looking for artwork, you want to make sure things are to scale and style, and also for price point. So we're going to take a look at some pictures, some hits and misses. And again, I pulled these off of I think it's the Home Staging Professionals group. Most of them, some of them are my pictures as well. And so I'm going to just preface this by saying, if your staging shows up in this is not meant to be mean or judgy or critical at all. It's a learning experience that we can all get better. And that's how I've learned over the years too, as far as what to do and how to improve my staging. Because in the beginning, I used little things, small artwork, and because I didn't have the budget to be able to go out and get larger things. And so we want to show you what things are important to invest in and why artwork does make such a difference in the staging. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to show this in stream. Hopefully it shows up big enough. All right, we're going to start. I'm going to click on this first picture.
Oh.
Okay, so this was one of my stagings early on. This was a over $3 million property over a decade ago, and this was in their formal dining room. And so this was an owner occupied, consultation. So, my training, I learned to say, oh, tell me about this painting. That's incredible. And it turned out that was the homeowner. And I'm thinking to myself, no buyer wants to see you naked, reclining on a bed in your dining room. And so she had a fruit bowl painting that I was able to get her to swap with. And when I came back with the final walkthrough, I guess I wasn't really clear to get the painting out of the house because they had hung it over the master bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to go through the whole thing again, like get that out of the house. So, in general, things like this would be a miss. We don't want nudes. I know there are some more artistic ones. So anyone that shows like really like graphic body parts, like you can see boobies and stuff here, I don't want that in a house. There are some that are more subtle. Like in my bedroom right now, I have a big vertical piece. I got it from Artist Guild. So it's blues and greens, but there's a silhouette of the backside of a woman. So it's just kind of her head and her back, and it's not in detail. And so, but it's not clothed. That would be okay because it's not like in your face, like nude body parts, right?
Well, the crazy thing is we sell to a wide range of clients, and keep in mind that there are certain cultures this would offend. So, in a great way. It would, and anyone would hate to lose a $3 million sale because of that picture. Right. And I can guarantee you that if you don't think that we have buyers for luxury properties that are from different countries, you'd be mistaken because a great majority are, and they would find that offensive. So, and it's a beautifully done painting. I agree, but and the wives would not be happy with the husbands looking at that either. So
exactly,
So let's just be a little more comfortable with what we're showing.
Exactly. So this picture, so I pulled this one up because this is, I think the furniture arrangement's nice. I think everything in here is nicely done. To me, this is an example of the artwork in the back. So it's round. It's small. So when you have a big back wall like that, you want to start looking at bringing in larger pieces of art or maybe two things on the wall. So what do you think?
Well, when I first look at this picture, my eyes is drawn to the big dot. And why I really like the piece, that would not, I don't think that I would use that as the center piece. I would want something that would have a little more drama and definitely a larger scale, because the room is very neutral and it's nicely done in the neutrals, but I think it just needs a little pop of excitement. And that's where, I usually start with the art and build the room around it.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Because artwork, I think, helps dictate color. So like this piece could be done on this wall over here. And then, all right, so let's get a bigger picture for that one. Okay, here's this. I love this piece of art.
I do too.
I think it's really great. Now, to me, I have a big safe on the left side of it. And this was, again, a picture online. Everything's vertical. And so maybe if they had turned the artwork horizontal, because it goes to the ceiling, so it feels like it's too big for the space. But I love the piece. So I might have like rotated it 90 degrees, so it wasn't so like you have the safe and you got the piece of art, and so everything's like soldiers, as Joanne would say. But I think it's a great piece and definitely a great impact piece. That's a great piece for staging.
I love the piece also, but this is a case where I would have also turned it where it matched the flow of the bench. And I would have worked with my photographer not to have that safe in the picture, because I'm going to tell you, if something like that online that's for public consumption, there are people that go online and look at these homes to know what they're going to rob. And this to me would say, ooh, they have some good stuff. Either that or they have a safe full of guns.
Right, well, they're crazy gun people.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you never know. 'Cause that sends messages you don't necessarily
Yeah.
mean to send.
That's not the kind of buyer you want to bring in your house, really.
Right.
I love that room. I love the
I do
colors.
too.
It's beautiful. The sofa. I want that sofa bad. I love how they.
I love everything.
Yeah, it's well done. The art is probably not what I would have chosen for that room. I think that it's not placed properly. I probably would have brought in a little more color to really enhance that, because the picture is a great picture, and I actually have that picture in my warehouse, and I've used it. But I think that it's a little too washed out looking with that room. And so once again, that room has so much drama. I think I would have carried it onto the walls for that really.
And so a trick, and I love that steer picture. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I love his face. I love every element in the room, and I know they bringing in sort of the cow hides and so forth, that carrying that theme into the artwork makes sense to me. I think so. If you have a piece of art at canvas, a way to add a little bit more layer it, frame it. If you were to frame it in a a wood frame, dark wood or lighter wood, it would come off that wall, because it is sort of faded into, because the wall color and the canvas are very similar. So I think it's a scaled, the size of the picture I think is appropriate. But I think if it was framed, it would even pop it that much more and just really add to this. Imagine it was like in this, like, yeah. So but I love this. This is a stager who put this on the Home Staging Professionals group, and I love this room and what she had done in the staging. So I think it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, stylized for a product or something like that. But anyhow, I love how this turned out. But this, if you frame artwork, like even the piece behind me, if you guys can kind of see this piece on the wall behind me, you have options to frame it or not frame it. So you can do wrap canvas, and you can do gallery wrap, which means it goes all the way around, or you can put frames on it when you're ordering from Artist Guild, from just about any of the art providers, and it just finishes it off. It gives it a more upscale look to have it framed, and it's not expensive to do that. So for some of your higher end pieces, you want to be taking a look at that for these homes. All right, this is Blu-ray staging. So this room, again, artwork. What do you think about this one?
I think that it's appropriately sized for the room, for what you could see. I might have done something a little bit different over the fireplace, to align the art together. It's a nice room. It's nicely done. I think for the photos, the throw would have bothered me in the photo for the MLS, because at first glance, it looks like the chair was covered with a sheet. Corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and that could be, sometimes we do that when there's a mark or something. We're like, we'll just put a thread beside it. That's a total stager trick.
Yeah.
But you're right. The way it kind of comes off the corner, and that could have been, I don't think I cropped it, but that could have been me. But anyhow, I think the artwork, the scale of the artwork is perfect.
Yeah.
It's a little high. It kind of makes you wonder who hung it. If it's when you hang artwork, those of you that are listening, you want to be, when you're standing and looking at artwork, you want to be looking in the middle of the picture. And average woman's height is 5'3", 5'4". Why do we target the female? Because in a traditional sale, and I know this is all changing over time, it's the woman often is the one that connects emotionally to the house. And so you gear a lot of how you present it to that person. So you might have tall clients, and so their artwork might be hung high, or when there's vaulted ceilings, I've seen artwork go way up. Well, you would never go like this in a museum or looking at things. You want to have things at eye level. So we tend to lean artwork on a mantle, just to not have to put another hole in the wall. So that could have been an option. And then usually behind the couch, and this again is subjective, but we usually give a guide of maybe 3 to 4 inches from the bottom of the frame to the top of the couch to the bottom of the frame. That gap should be just several inches, not super high. This looks like it's probably about 8 or 9 inches is a guess. But I love the colors.
Yeah.
They
did
the
artwork really focuses on that view, the wow factor. Wasn't that what Barb says? Every room should have a wow factor when you walk in.
Yep.
And that's really important, though, to keep in mind, that your pictures for homes, for how a room looks when you stage it and how a room looks sometimes for pictures can be a little bit different because it doesn't always translate. So that's why it's important to work with a photographer.
Yeah, because I've seen I don't know if I have any pictures out here, but rooms that are all like monochromatic, like all white and creamy, and so they're very elegant looking. But if there's no color, it doesn't photograph well. It doesn't really translate well in a picture.
No.
And so we need color for staging, and the artwork color in the artwork brings the eye up, and then it brings it around the vertical, the space, and then you bring those same color elements into accent pillows and accessories, so it feels cohesive. And we'll see some pictures coming up that are examples of what not to do in using color and so and artwork. So here, one of these exposed brick walls that's kind of cool. It's almost artsy itself. The only piece of art I see in this particular picture is the one on that wall there.
I think that's a little small for the room because the room has a really great wow factor. That when you walk in that room, you're just like, whoa.
I don't know how it is with stages. We only have so much money to put towards something, or maybe you're just starting out and so you don't have as much artwork as you think you might need. I mean, we still go to Home Goods and TJ Maxx. You can pick up really nice pieces for $29, $39. At home, if you have those in your area, they have a really great art selection. I've been buying a lot of art online. So whether you do like Artist Guild, who's one of our vendors, Paragon, ProPack, there's other suppliers, but you can stretch your dollar. And my kid is painting artwork. I mean, he orders canvases and then he takes spray paint and makes designs and stuff like that. And so if you're crafty at all, when artwork these days is just kind of like colors and gradients, it's not really pictures of any one thing. You could actually make your own artwork if you are tight budget wise. And so making sure that the artwork is to scale is really important. So I agree that maybe 2 pieces would have been good here.
Yeah.
Or a larger one.
Well, and keep in mind that if there's some wonderful YouTube videos on doing your own artwork, and if your staging is going to be featured on HGTV, if it's not original artwork and you don't have the sign from the artist for that to be seen, they will blur out all of your artwork, which drove me crazy.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me that until you showed up.
Okay. So it's funny. So these, it's funny because I think I have the similar artwork in my, like the one on the right with the trees. But anyhow, so
the headboard.
Yeah. Colors are great. So what do you think about the artwork?
I love the colors. I like the room. I probably would have done like a few smaller pieces over the headboard to break it up a little bit because it just feels a little awkward because you do have a nice headboard there. So I probably would have done 3 smaller pieces over there just to break up the idea of the art in the room and give a little more visual interest.
And I've also seen, like, when you have a nice headboard, instead of putting something right up over the headboard, put it behind the 2 lamps. If you have 2 vertical pieces, like you don't necessarily even have to match. Like these are both about the same size. If you had turned this one here and then had this one here, that would have been a really nice focal point. And then, feeling like we'll have to have something on the wall on the right-hand side, that artwork feels a little lost because that's a bigger wall.
Yeah. So
it's almost like you would need to have 2 larger things on the right-hand side, or make better use of the 2 that you have and put them behind the lamps. I mean, that's just a suggestion. I've seen that done really effectively in houses, and but I love the colors that was used in the staging. And
I think Sandra had a room last week on Facebook that she had the art like that, and it looked so amazing.
Right. So this is an example of artwork is not needed because there's windows. You have the natural artwork.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't change a thing. It's clean.
I love it.
It shows a lot of counter space. It's fresh, and the wow factor is the view. So
the views, yeah.
I wouldn't do a thing different.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so this room, obviously the views out the window, beautiful. So take a look at the artwork, people that are watching. On that white wall, big piece of art. It's framed,
I love it.
has pattern in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a hit.
Yeah, and
And
it enhances the room, and it doesn't draw your eye to the point where that's the first thing I looked at. The first thing I looked at was the fireplace, the setting and the view, and then I saw how the art enhanced. And I think that's a gift, and that's a hard thing, I would think, to teach. I wouldn't know how to teach that, but this room is beautifully done. The textures, the patterns, the natural elements. In a minute, I could see myself living there.
yep, I think it's a great example. All right. This is another one. So we're seeing, and it's funny because I know that Joanne's like, we got to get away from that blue color that's been out for like the last 2 years. It's still very much on trend, even though in Vegas market, they were showing moss green and I'm trying to think of complement color wasn't an orange, could have been like a rusty color. So I don't know that I'm going to invest in a lot of that. The blue is still very popular. It is the color of the 2022, it's the color of the year, again, coming out by the predictors, not the big companies, but just in general, the design. They're saying that blue color is still here to stay. Although the number one color in the world in our magazine we talk about this is that like that millennial pink. That was the number one color in the world, used for everything from interior design to business cards to branding and so forth. And so we take a look at this room and the artwork on the wall. And so what would you say about this one?
I love the size of the art on that wall, but I will tell you, the table under it seems a little underwhelmed for that beautiful piece of art. And I probably would have put something that was more appropriately sized under that, because it feels a little bit lost. And, it might have been something where you didn't even need the table, because, it would look fine there without that.
Yeah, and and this could be, I don't know if this is a vacant staging or an owner occupied. There's a lot in here, so I'm going to lean towards maybe an owner occupied, and so maybe that's what they had to work with. And so what John's saying is a console table, if you have artwork over it, not that it has to be exactly corner to corner, but you don't want to have like a big massive piece of art, because the artwork's perfect for that wall, and then have like a little teeny thing underneath, something that kind of makes it feel like overwhelmed by the piece of art.
Right.
So, but in general, I love that artwork is perfect size for that wall. Not too small, not too busy. It ties everything together. So I think it's well done.
Yeah, I think people lose. They're afraid of negative space, and I think that you should embrace negative space sometimes, especially when you're trying to show the focal points of the house.
Right. So this one they have plenty of art in here. They got 4 pieces. Sizes are appropriate. There's no headboard, and so when I look at the picture again, I love the colors, love the styling and so forth. I might have actually opted to put these 2 verticals here and the horizontals here, because this one is coming up pretty high to the ceiling.
Right.
But I think the size of the art is right for this room. It's no matter how you're going to hang it.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I generally don't stagger art when I don't know. It's just I think it's a trend thing for me, and honestly, my mother used to stagger every piece of art in our house. Every wall had staggered art, so I'm gonna like.
You don't you don't have to measure. I call that like the stager's tape. I'm like, because I'm not a measuring. Like, I don't get the tape measure out, and the thing. I'm like, if I'm going to hang artwork that's supposed to be the same thing, I lean up and I'm like, okay, where am I going to put the nail? And I feel how my arm feels, how I'm standing.
I do the same thing.
I go by feel, put the nail, and then I go to the next thing. I'm like, okay, I felt like this. That must be where the nail needs to go. And I swear to God, that's how I hang artwork. And I'd say like 90% of the time, I'm like right on, like they're like, bam, that they're equal. And then, 10% of the time it's off, and I'm having to move that darn nail around. But that's why staggering is sort of a good cheat. You don't have to match them up, No,
but, if I'm going to do like a whole collage, because sometimes I have some great pieces that are like a collage piece that with all different little sizes and that, then that's okay. But it's just a personal taste thing for me. I mean, the room's a beautiful room. I think it's got nice features. It's warm. It's welcoming. I
think if they hung these 2 even, almost like a headboard effect here, squares and then had these two on the side over here, then it would have been like even that much better.
Yeah. I guess for me, I always feel like it dates it a little bit when I see photos hung like that. So,
Sorry, I'm not choking. It's like a copy, not from what you said.
oh yeah, I was like, it's not that radical of a concept, Jenny.
Okay, so this room, spoke to me as well. There's a lot going on in here. Sorry, guys. She's probably not drinking my coffee. The styling of this, the built-ins, nicely done. Now, for me, I'm like, I don't know if I'm a stingy teacher, there's a lot of accessories in there. So for me, I would have been like, probably take at least half of those away because I'm like, I could use those in another house. But my eye goes down to the blue carpet and sort of stays there because that's the most dramatic thing. And there's a few little blue things on the shelves, but there's really nothing to draw my eye back up. And even though I like the round mirror, to me, I feel like there should have been something, maybe even in here, with that same blue to keep our eye going up with artwork.
I think the dark blue on the floor is heavy, and it does take your eye to that. And really, it's a nice room, but I agree totally. I would have probably done half of the bookshelves, but we all know how much I love to style bookshelves. So
this is beautifully done.
Yeah,
I know whoever,
nice
if you're watching, really, they did a really nice job with the shelves. I look at it like, you could use that stuff in another house. And I actually have a royal blue rug, and I've got a teal rug, the fuzzy ones. I love them. They're memorable, so I don't use them frequently. However, when we do bring them out, and I didn't put any pictures in here of them, I don't think, that artwork would have the same color. So the colors down here, it is on the couches. So we have the color at waist level. We need to bring the color up so that it brings it around the room. The eyes don't stop and stay down.
And as a realtor, I will tell you, the thing that I'm selling are those pretty wooden floors. So I would have maybe downsized that rug a teeny bit because I really want to sell the floors. I'm not selling the rug, and I'm going to get lots of hate mail for that, but it is what it is.
Rug gate. What you basing on rugs? Okay. So what about this room?
This room, I probably would have. It's a beautiful room. I like the art. I like the colors. I probably would have chosen a little less on the sofa, and I probably would have. In this case, I would have probably used a larger rug and something that brought in those colors and got. I think the rug gets lost, and you could have had a little more drama on that and a little larger. And so there, all you haters, look, I said larger rug. Yeah. Because they're beautiful floors, but you can see plenty of it.
Yeah. And the artwork, that horizontal piece, great scale, good size with the back of the sofa. So the colors then get, and unlike John, we take a look at the artwork we have, and then we use those colors throughout the house. And so we usually come with a plan, like today we have one house, we have to use yellows and grays and creams in because it's a mixed media owner occupied, and that's what they have.
Right.
So we're going to bring those in. Otherwise, we'll say, well, today we're going to go with greens and blues and grays or whatever. So we have an idea of what we want. But then artwork ultimately is what's going to dictate the other colors we're going to use on the surfaces. And so I think they did a great job with the selection of the size.
Yeah.
And then this wall here, you can see that they have two rounds, which is nice kind of in the distance, and then two square. You have three different shapes going on here, which is great. And you have a vertical light, you got a vertical table. So having these two round elements and even the round table, you want to mix up the shapes and the staging as well. So this is all things that I've learned along the way. Some people just innately know how to pull it together, and it's not that a square table or a rectangle wouldn't work. I just think, having the different shape makes it more interesting and softens. The lines are softer. And those of you that have watched the trends that we had for 2020, our conference, the virtual conference, Sandra Race and Joanne Leonard Weary did a whole thing on staging trends. They talked a lot about how curves were coming in because of, COVID, and just wanted to be more nurtured, and curves are seen as feminine. And so bringing those elements into your staging, and a lot of the natural elements are on trend, I think makes a big difference versus having everything, because things that are square and rectangle are more severe because they have pointed edges. And so when you have that furniture, so you can even see the back of the furniture that's curved here. A lot of the designers are going with that kind of that element. You'll see those stylings versus having everything really square.
I like how they brought in some organic elements too. I thought that makes it so nice.
Yeah. So this room, my eyes immediately go, well, tell me where your eyes immediately go.
My eyes immediately go to that small art piece on the fireplace, and that ottoman thing in front of the sofa. I think it's a little understated for this room. Both pieces, I think that you could have brought in more drama.
Well, and my eyes immediately went to the windows because they're beautiful, trimmed up, but as they have, I think it's painted blue behind. So that's a permanent color on the wall. And so I call it embrace versus replace when your seller's like, well, we're not going to paint. And so, I'm not even suggesting you needed to paint. However, I would have taken that blue color and brought some of that into the artwork. Is this, I didn't, I pulled this picture, I didn't even notice that that's a map and it's the same colors as the couches. It's that creamy color. I didn't even see it. And so from a staging perspective, to make any improvements on this staging, maybe a piece of art that has these colors in it, so the color is pulled up here.
Yeah.
So it's not just like boom, my eyes go back, then everything else seems sort of washed out. Beautiful styling. I love the throws, the pillows, the layers. It looks really, really nice, but it kind of gets lost because of the window drama. Now, that is a selling feature, so the seller has highlighted it. The artwork here. I love the things on the mantle. This artwork maybe could have been a little bit bigger because my eye wants something up here because of the two on the right hand side.
I think if it was higher, it would have been a total hit. And that, really is a nice room. It's a beautiful room.
Now this is one that is
I want those.
Carrie, you want those chairs?
Yes, I want those.
Very cool. They're very cool. So again, this is a room that doesn't need a lot of artwork because you have the windows up top. And so, making a decision not to overload it with a bunch of stuff that's going to be distracting, I think is part of our job as a stager. So know when do I need to add things? When do I need to pull back, or I don't need to add things? And so I thought this was a hit.
Yeah, this is a striking room. Walking a buyer into this room instantly, they would have been, blown away because, of course, selling real estate is about emotion, and quite frankly, I feel that home staging is about creating emotions. So, you're telling a story, and this story is that this is a very sophisticated setting, and of course, if you buy this house, you're going to sit there and drink martinis all day long.
That's right. That's awesome. This is kind of small. Again, this is an example of not needing a lot of artwork because of the windows and the images outside. So that one I should have cropped tighter in. There it is. So interesting when you have architectural elements like this that are really interesting with the cutouts in the windows that are letting outside in. You don't need to add a bunch of other busy artwork because that to me is it's not just windows. They actually added styling to the window or flare or something elements because of these the white pattern. So it's almost like like you're looking through something, not just a normal window. So it's really interesting, different.
Yeah, I mean, it even brings them the color, and I love that floor. So yeah, whoever styled this did a great job.
Now, the one thing I did, I think the reason I pulled this one out too is everything in here. There's a pink book on top of here, so that's the only pink element in the room. And hot pink, I look what I'm wearing. I love pink. I think having all of a sudden a random color that isn't anywhere else in the space, I think is a detraction. It's like that pop of color. Back early on, we were taught about pop of color, and what pop of color does is it takes your eye to that one thing, and I'm going to quote Joanne Leonard Weir again. She said, basically you're shrinking the room because you're taking your focus to that one spot and you're losing the entire perimeter. So just kind of keep that in mind. If this was here, maybe another little pink element someplace else just to kind of make it make sense. That color to me, maybe in a bedroom or someplace else, because here it's the blues and the greens and the creams and the blacks and so forth, that that one particular pop of pink seems a little out of place.
It's a
Otherwise.
striking room. I mean, it's a beautiful room.
All right, come on, Wi-Fi. And here we go. Okay. All right, so this is an example of kind of what I was talking about just a second ago. You have artwork is to scale. You've got the grays and the creams and stuff, and then they've thrown the red in with an orchid. And so my eye immediately went to 2 red pillows.
Yeah,
That's what I saw first.
That's where my eye went too.
And so, yeah.
And I'm just now noticing they have a nice view out that window. So,
yeah.
It's
not that we can't use color, but you would want to have had then that red in the artwork, in other elements that that tie it together. So it's not just this all of a sudden, because that's a bright, bold color.
Right. And that's a beautiful piece of art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So again, little things of color. Color is important because it creates moods and so forth. But just having the little thing of flowers on the table, that's where my eye goes. I'm going to miss the selling feature, which is the kitchen, the light fixtures, and so forth. And so we want to get away from doing just one little accent of color in a room, because I think it backfires in a photo and in person.
Well, and if you were just doing a photo of, like the table, sort of an artsy piece of with that red pop on there, it'd be great. But, your eyes are at the table instead of that amazing kitchen. Yeah. And as a realtor, I'm selling that amazing kitchen.
Yeah. So if you wanted to have the flowers here, then maybe you have a bowl of red apples on the counter, or something else to bring the eye, that color, bring it into the other space so that it continues on. It doesn't just stop right there.
Very nicely done, though.
Yeah. This picture. So again, incorporating the artwork and all the elements in the room tie together with that piece.
Right. And I can understand why they had to go with a smaller piece because of that niche, which is a sort of a strange little piece there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I can see where you have to work with it, and they did a good job. I like this room. Buyers would be very comfortable in this room.
I think that's like a pathway to the entrance of the door. I think that's the front door over there. And what I wanted to point out here too is here's another blue rug, but our eyes don't stay down there because the artwork has the blue in it. So it balances it. It brings the eye up.
And it's not a solid, it's a little broken up. So it's a little softer, I think.
So here's an example. You have a pattern rug, which is fine. And then you have the piece on the mantle. My eye immediately goes to the view out the window. Right. That's almost like natural artwork. So I think for the most part, this is probably a hit. This little piece here is really tiny. I don't think if you weren't going to have something over here, I don't think you needed this little tiny piece of art. It just looks so off on the wall.
Yeah. So and normally I don't like matchy, but in this case, the room is so architectural. I'd want to balance that.
Yeah.
But beautiful room, beautiful fireplace.
I love it. This one's a little hard to see. I wonder if I got a bigger picture of that one. I did. Okay, good. So this is an example of love the artwork. The furniture is completely lost in my line of sight because there is no other. This is where the colors on the walls, but they did not bring it into accent pillows and the sofas or the accessories. And so, and the walls are so white and the furniture is so white, it looks washed out to me.
Right.
And so from a staging perspective, it would have been great to have these blue colors and so forth. Get some pillows, get some accessories that have some of these elements in it so that it ties it together. Because right now my eye is just staying up top here.
And I will say and I totally agree with bringing a little of that color around. Mm-hmm. But for the photos, I would have taken that love seat and moved it out of the shot because I feel it's blocking that kitchen space and making the living room look small. So, for photos, I would have taken that out because I think the photo would have really played better on.
Yeah. And I don't know that this is, I can't tell what's on the coffee table. I don't know what that is on there, but if this is an owner occupied, like where the people are living. And sometimes if they have like pets and kids, I'm like, well, I'm not going to put my soft goods in here. But I have done where I brought pillows and said, for photos and showings, this is where they need to go, and then pull them up out of the way. while you're living here, so that if you're thinking my stuff's going to get dirty, that won't be an issue because they'll move things out of the way.
Right.
But I think the artwork, I love the artwork. I just feel like it's this is a bit of a miss because the colors then weren't brought into the main elements that we want people to notice. The counters, you could have the blue or the gold, plates or bowls or some sort of an accessory here just to kind of bring the eye down, and then so that this doesn't get completely lost. Add that color in.
And this would have been a nice one where if they brought that into a rug, I think, because everything's so neutral.
Yeah. And here's the other perspective of it. So they have a light colored rug. So it's very, white furniture to me is very clean. It's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel again that my eye immediately just goes right back to these pictures, and I'm losing the visual of anything else because there's the color's just not there to bring my eye around the room.
Right. And I think there was a wonderful view behind that,
right here. Yep.
And I think it's a little obscured, and it would have been awkward for buyers walking around that. I think they're all beautiful pieces, but for pictures, I would probably gone with less is more.
Yeah, I agree. This is a great picture just in general. Yeah. I love the perspective of it. It feels very balanced.
Very balanced. It's very tranquil. It conveys a nice, very comfortable emotion to buyers. This would go over very well, especially in Michigan. Some of our beachy properties, this would look beautiful.
Yeah, I love the table and that artwork. Some people go, well, you have to hang it at the top of the window frame, or how, if you're actually, let's say you have two pictures and they're not exactly the same size. Do you match up the bottoms of the frames to the top of the frames? You're going to hang them even. And I had a student once in class that he works to work at a museum, and he told me the general rule, and I forgot it. So can't tell you the answer. You can probably look it up. But as far as having to match up frame sizes or even window casings and so forth, you wouldn't have to hang it right up, at the top of the window. It just wouldn't make sense to have it that high. So I think where it's placed, the colors it's very peaceful, and you can see there's something really pretty here out the window too.
Right.
So it's a hit.
Yeah, there's some very talented people here.
Mm-hmm. And this, I think I just included this one because I liked the styling on the table, the photograph. So as we're taking pictures of our rooms, don't forget to get things like this that aren't really for before and after shots or promoting the house for sale. This would be great for your marketing brochure or something where you're promoting your company. This is a great picture for that.
This would be great on your website.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, no headboard, so using the artwork as the headboard. This one I think is okay. It's a little tall, but it doesn't go up over the casing of the door.
Right.
So I think it works.
Yeah.
It's a cool picture. I love that tree. All right. Okay. So this is an interesting space. My eye immediately goes to the ceiling. It's almost like it feels almost like a reverse room. Like that should be the floor, and we're because the ceilings usually are darker than the floors.
Right.
So that's so dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And the artwork over the couch to me is tiny.
Well, here's the thing. It looks like there's two wall sconces there. And
here.
For a crazy thing, it would drive me crazy not to have the sofa centered under that. I'm not kidding. Even now, I'm just like doing this.
Now move it over. Yeah. So like the stage for staging, it could have been shifted over, and that other wing back could have been on the other side of the grouping, like moved to the left. We're next to this one.
Right.
And then the artwork is, if these were like in the way, let's say that the sconces were like, well, I can't put, another piece because of the sconces. Well, then, they're high up enough that you could have done two medium-sized pieces that were verticals or horizontals, excuse me, and filled that space up a little bit better. But also something that, and maybe in person this feels differently, but something that doesn't make that ceiling just feel like it's coming either down on me or my eye I just immediately all I'm really seeing is the ceiling. It's I love the beams, I love the ceiling, I love the rustic elements. I don't know if they needed to have more of the ceiling color on the floor just to bring balance that down, but there's something for me that just feels off with the architecture of the room. And so for staging, You know, the floor to me looks washed out. Is that new, that, you know, that wood washed out tile. So maybe maybe in this case, a rug that had a little bit more depth would have been a good idea. And then, but the artwork itself to me needs to be bigger scale
Yeah,
to compete with these.
I
Yeah.
think if you would have even pulled the ceiling color into the rug, I think that
Hmm.
would have given you a little bit better balance.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty architecture.
Yeah, it's a beautiful room.
It's my Wi-Fi slow. Here we go. So again, this is an example of windows. So this is why, you know, when we get asked to give pricing for a staging, and they're like, well, how much is it going to be? And I'm like, I haven't even seen the house yet. I don't know how some of these companies are able to properly quote, because I'm like, I need to see the wall space for artwork because that's
Yeah.
a big expense. Or do I not need a lot of artwork because there's windows? And so I like to see the properties before I actually price them out. I can give a ballpark range because of experience, but I don't really know exactly what it's going to be until I can actually see. And in this case, you don't need any artwork. Like, I would not ever want to see like little pictures on the frame around the door. I mean, there's just no need for it. And so because the artwork is just, it's that beautiful view outside.
One of the things that's like asking a realtor to walk into a house and give you a price that they've never seen and have all of your
Mhm.
paperwork and everything done. And I know realtors who do that. I don't do that. I do first I do their phone interview, get all the information I need. Then I tour the house, and I leave a pre-listing book. I think as a home stager, that would be a wonderful idea for against your competition, is to put together a beautiful pre-staging book about what it's about, some of your, you know, put your pictures in there, because I guarantee you that a lot of your competition won't go to that expense. I even do, I have my own hardcover books that I use with my branding on it. And so when I come back and I said, let me do some homework, and then I come back and I give them their price, and I have my contracts with me, and because then I know what I'm talking about. So,
Right.
but you know what I leave them, then anybody else they come in, they compare to what I do, what compared to what the other people do, and you know, like my conversion rate is in the 90 percentile. So, and that's a really high conversion rate. And that's not an ego thing. That's because I've taken a lot of classes and I've listened into a lot of luxury classes. And that's one of the things that is really tantamount for them is, you know, don't go over everything you do and toot your own horn so much. Leave them your own pre-listing book that they can browse with. And, you know, the bottom line is other stagers aren't going to do that.
Right.
They're like, oh,
Well, you
my
know,
website, or yeah.
yeah. So, so the picture books, that's actually a great idea to even drop off to your key clients at their offices. They can share it with their colleagues. If it's sitting on their desk, people are going to look at it.
Right.
Oftentimes, you know, we're just popping by the houses to take a look, but I think the visual part of it is really important. And websites are great because our pictures are constantly changing. We're constantly adding and so forth. A picture book is static, so you're not necessarily adding more to it. But I think you definitely want to show people examples of your work so they know you're qualified and so forth, to work with them.
See, this is a picture of my hardcover book that I use, and I use this for staging and for real estate. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it's a thermobind, so I can upgrade it whenever I want to, put it in thermobind and leave it. And it's a regular hardcover. And then I do an
That's
insert
nice.
with my business card in it. And then I also, and I think this works really well for stagers also, is I leave a little flash drive with some of my, and I don't call them like videos or anything. I call them commercials for the property, and it's shaped like a key. And I have it with
Oh,
a
that's
little
cool.
sticky in my book. But it's all about added value and how you present yourself and your branding. That makes a big difference because
Huge.
yeah, no, other people aren't going to do it, and so
Yeah.
everybody gets compared to you, and that's really what you want.
That's absolutely. I love this room.
Oh yeah.
I mean, first of all, you have that Franklin stove in the corner that most people go, it kind of dates the room. I don't know how old this property is because it looks to me updated because of the elements that are in it, some of the updating. But the stove for some buyers might be an issue. I didn't even really see the stove. I saw the layout. I saw that fabulous piece of art, and I love the plant bringing the outside inside. And even though that's the only like green color in there, as we talk about black and white are kind of the opposite ends of the color spectrum, depending on what color theory you adhere to. And that's in our April magazine issue. Is black are black and white really colors? And there's like, you know, 3 schools of thought. But that green, I just think I love everything about this staging.
Yeah,
It's
and
really
I
good.
like how they went really subdued on the rug, because I think that art that they have is such a dramatic piece that it shows off the architectural details of the room and like the railing behind. Artfully done. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, from the black lampshades of bringing the black railing to the natural elements. I just think that a lot of thought went into this, which a lot of people, you know, don't realize. It's not like necessarily design where you have to really agonize over it, but this one you can tell that, you know, from even the round shape of the mirror on the left. I mean, there's a lot of thought that went into making sure that this, because it's not a huge space. You can tell the couch is not huge scale, the chair, but I think it's just really, really well done. It's striking.
It has a lot of drama.
Mhm. So this is a great example of, you know, you have a long wall. So if you don't have one big piece of artwork, do 2, and they are hung same. So you make you happy.
Yes.
Makes John happy. Yeah.
I can breathe now.
And even sometimes, so I've been buying a lot of artwork and that are duplicates, two of the same pieces. That's very popular. And if you thought, well, I don't really want to be match, you could hang one the opposite direction. So one's one way, one's upside down. If it, you know, makes a difference. If you want a little bit of a different look, but I think this is well done.
Yeah, it's clean. It's fresh. It's spacious. Because I sell 2 things: floor space and lifestyle.
Yep. Now here, this is a room, has no artwork, at least in this particular picture, and it just feels unfinished.
Yeah, I think that you could have really gone with on that back wall by the 2 chairs. You could have really gone for drama there and done a large piece of art that really made a statement. It's, you know, it's just a little. It's just, and like you said, it feels unfinished to me.
So when you're, again, stagers that are watching, when you're looking for artwork, you want to find things that are, you know, they're on trend. I don't get anything that's like super memorable, like a Marilyn Monroe face or something like that, because I can't use that in every house.
Right.
People are going to, there's that piece of art again. So the things that you're looking for, the colors that are on trend, and for the most part, let's go back to this other picture. You know, this is just colors that are kind of almost looks like a heartbeat thing. I mean, it's just colors, so it's not memorable, but it does adds a lot to how the room feels.
Right.
So when you're looking for artwork, you're not looking for things that are these really unique pieces that are you can't use them over and over again. And again, it does not have to be expensive. You can get some really good pieces for, you know, good prices at the various stores that, you know, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, online, wholesale. So you need to invest in artwork because your sellers don't have good artwork. Even if you're doing a mixed media, their artwork is either going to be like family pictures or just little tiny things. Most of them don't know what to do. And then as a stager, like, look at this piece of art here. Again, a fabulous piece.
Yeah.
On that wall. And then I love the one even behind in that other room. It's like metal or something. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's
definitely statement pieces, and there are homes that's appropriate for.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they have a mirror over the fireplace. Let's talk about mirrors. It's reflecting something interesting in the mirror. So when we use mirrors, it shouldn't just be like a bunch of mirrors for a bunch of mirrors' sake. The mirrors should be reflecting something of interest, whether it's the buyer walking by, they see their reflection, or it's reflecting a view or some other architectural element in the space. And so, you know, use mirrors for that effect in the staging. And so this one, I think, you know, you obviously, it's reflecting, looks like a view or windows or something on the other side. So it's a great use of that mirror versus if it was on some wall. All I was looking, it was another wall or like a part of a stairwell that wasn't interesting. That's not a good use of a mirror. But I love how they did the staging.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Mm-hmm. And I think, is that mirror? Yeah, this is just a front on picture of that mirror.
Yeah.
So behind you can see it's a view and so forth. So mirrors are great to be able to let light in and so forth, lights and views to enhance that. So good use. And I love how they have the fireplace on, which is really nicely done. This is the same house, but I love this picture. They're just, this is a fabulous picture for not only like a selling thing, but for your portfolios. I mean, how they captured this by looking through the doorway into the room, into another doorway. It's just really, really cool.
And that is, you can tell, is there's a good photographer there. They know
Yeah.
what they're doing,
Mhm.
and that's
Really,
key to
really.
work with talent.
Mhm. And if you don't, and what I like to do is I'll take a look at a picture like this and be like, that's a really cool idea. So the next time I'm staging, I might be able to remember, hey, I'm going to stand back and see if I can capture something like that with my camera and be able to use it for staging, because it's a really very cool perspective. And I don't think this is the same as it could be. This is again, the windows are the artwork, if you will. I love everything about the staging. The only thing that I might have changed is the floral thing on the table. To me, keeps my eye from going right outside.
Yeah,
And
and and actually, when they've made this wonderful conversation pit, you won't be able to see each other. So
yeah,
that's a pet peeve for me. It's like sometimes I'll see stagers put these big giant things on the dining room table, and I'm like, but that's not realistic. That and how it looks now, it probably looked gorgeous when you walked in and you saw it. It was very striking, but for pictures, you're right. It it detracts from that view, and the view is the thing that I would be selling.
yeah. I mean, so there's a table. It looks like there's a table here. Maybe that could have gone on the table. I'm just saying, and how the photographer shot it, and maybe able to shift it out of the way for the picture, because to me, this is the selling feature back
Right,
here.
exactly.
And how they balance the room with the plants and so forth. It's really beautiful. So, and the artwork, of course, really nicely done to scale.
And see, that's why I think it's so important that the stager works with the photographer. And I call them the money shots. Without the
Yes.
floral, that would have been a money shot. Because
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Now this piece of art is very interesting. I can't take my eyes off it, and so I'm not paying attention to the rest of the room.
yeah, it's a great piece of art though. But it is a little dominating and maybe a little modern for the space, I think. I don't know that if I would have done something that stark, but it's a beautiful piece. But the thing that is the money shot is look at that kitchen. Oh my God.
Yeah, that hood.
Yeah. And
So to me, the stripes, this is a piece that maybe like in a space that didn't have so much going on, like maybe like a bonus room or a family room or something like that, where you just had the soft bean, you could pull those colors in. That would be cool.
right.
So I love the piece of art. The size of the piece of art is right, the scale. But I just keep going back to the stripes on that, and I'm missing. I'm not really noticing the hood and the elements in the kitchen. So um, as a stager, it's even like stand back, take a picture of everything, and say, is this the best use of this piece in the space? Maybe it would have gone better someplace else, or what can I do to make that piece work? To maybe bring some of those colors elsewhere to kind of draw around, so it wasn't so dramatic. But that's a very memorable piece as well. I'm going to say that I would remember that, and if you were a stager and you had that piece and it went rotating around houses, I would be like, they need to get some new stuff. So that's one part. And I run into that with some of our stuff too. It's like, you get stuff that you don't want to have it be too memorable.
When I started out, we called it the Find Waldo picture.
Yeah.
Because we would have 6 houses and you would see that same picture somewhere in one of those, in each of those
Exactly.
houses in a different area. But it was like, okay, can you find Waldo?
Exactly. And this is that same house with that, because I can tell by this in the very back here, the very right. But this is the dining room. So that artwork, awesome artwork.
Yeah,
And this picture again, shooting through the various doorways, I just think it's a really, really impactful shot, because it shows it's going through 4 rooms: dining room, entry, living room, into that dining room or that other sitting room. It's just really a dramatic.
It comes across
picture.
so sophisticated, I think.
It does. Really well done.
Oh, I love the room, but the art is too tiny. It's just, it looks like, for me, it looks like 2 eyeballs, like square eye, like looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, because it is also because you have the big windows. You even have the dormer window over the bed to the accents, like a piece of art. And so this is an example of, as a stager, I give you an A, whoever did this room. I love everything you selected. Artwork is just too small. And so, I mean, even if you had 5 of those, to make like a grouping or something, but
or 4,
it's just
wouldn't 4 in a square even
4.
Nice? Yeah.
Oh yeah, 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just something, because it's just too small.
Yeah.
So that's where the investment, obviously the bedding, the pillows, the accessories, you've made an investment in that. The artwork needs to be bigger on a wall that size. I have that piece of art. I think we've got a couple of them. So this room, I feel like this is a to scale. To me, it looks good for staging. That dark mantle, and so one of the tricks we talk about, if you have dark walls like your cellar's, like I'm not going to paint. I call it embrace versus replace. So a piece of art that has light background shows up versus if they had picked something that was really dark, it would just kind of blend into that mantle area. And so, and I'm sure they have a piece of art on the backside over the couch as well. So what do you think about this?
I my first impression is the color of the wall behind on the mantle isn't working well, I think, with the blues in the art a little bit. So this would have been a nice room for a dramatic piece, I think, of really modern white and black, very artsy piece there to give a little drama, because I don't see that blue anywhere else in the room, and we're not really seeing the whole room. So it feels I like the size of the art. It's a great size for the mantle, but the way and it may not look like that in real life, but in the photos, the blue and the wall color, I think, don't flow well together. But that's that's just my opinion. That would
I mean, I think the scale is right. It does feel, to me, it does feel a little off. So if that mantle's black, maybe like you're saying, bring something in that has some of that that drama as well, would have been better. And I keep going back to the ledge stone here too, because you have these two competing elements. This does keep my eye up, which is good. Right. So versus just not having anything.
Yeah, it takes you to the fireplace, which is a focal point. So
this one is kind of a washed out picture in general. I think it looks better on the screen, but I love the furniture, the styling, everything, and the artwork. The artwork is the right colors. If it were framed, again, this is an example. If it were framed, it would just be that much more.
Yeah, that little sort of shadow frame where it's a little shadow around, and then I agree. But it's very well done.
Now this is interesting because you have the colors, you got the blues and the greens and the browns, and so then the artwork pulling it's not the succulents. This is not artwork that we would use here in Colorado. I don't hate it, but I like that the colors, they incorporated that in. So I feel like that's if you want to incorporate color in your staging, that artwork, being able to pull those elements out and the colors is so important. So I think they did a nice job with mixing. Yeah,
and I like how they use the little how the table and the stools match.
Yeah,
elements match. I think that's really nicely done, because I think anything heavier there would have made the room look small, and so I think it was well thought out.
I even like that round stick thing, and that's a really cool thing too.
Yeah.
All right, we have a couple more. I love this. So again, the scale of the artwork suits the size of the sofa and the wall space. Really nicely done. And that plant, because it's tall, it doesn't feel like that left side of the room is bald. Like it doesn't need another thing over there.
Yeah, and I like how I especially like how they brought the chairs in away from the wall, because it actually enhances the size of the room. Very well done.
Yeah, nicely. This is a hit. So this one is an example. There's a lot of, and I don't know if it's the photography or just the elements. So this is an example where they're using some of the kind of the bronzy pinks or whatever, the lighter colors. And I bet in person this looked really stunning, but in a picture, I can't tell if it's like a black and white that had color things assigned, like, you colorized the lampshades. That's what it looks like to me in the picture. So this is where for staging, you have the flooring, which is dark, and the walls, and I think the room arrangement's fine. I just feel like it's missing. It would have been even more wow if there'd been a little bit more color, even pulling into that piece of artwork, something just to make it a little bit more less black and white.
And
like
I
a black and
would have
white
liked to
picture.
see that piece of art over the sofa, though, more of a rectangle than a square.
Yeah,
for me.
And I love this. I love the round mirror. I think that looks great.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for a couple more. So again, if this is like a monochromatic, you've got the black and the white, not another, they really aren't incorporating another color in. And it's not that black and white don't look dramatic, and that's an on-trend thing, but I feel like it's calling for a minimum of a third color just to really make it memorable. And I can hardly see the artwork over the bed. So is this an issue with the photographer, or is it because the walls and the canvas are almost the same color? And I'm sure it's pulled together intentionally. I feel like for selling, we want people to remember the pictures and so forth in the house. And this to me isn't as memorable as it could be, or impactful, I guess I should say.
Well,
I love what the stager did. Yeah.
I guess for me, it's a really nice size room, and I probably would have preferred to the bed to be moved out a little from the window, and nice tables and a little more drama on each side of the bed. I think that the room could definitely stand and support a little more. This is where, I'm always saying less is more. Well, this is not that case. I think more would be a little more. And
I mean, even like
it's
there's
overexposed. So
the other picture itself, that could be the. Okay, so this is an example of, they have the one little red thing on the counter, and then everything else is the white and the gray. So again, if you're going to bring color in, you have to move it around. It can't just be one spot, because that's kind of where my eye goes there, and it goes to whatever that thing is on the counter.
Yeah, you keep staring at it, kind of.
I don't know. It looks like almost looks like, I don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's not a loaf of bread, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. The shape.
It's this is a
beautiful kitchen.
Room. So just a few little pops of color, I think I wouldn't have done not a single piece of art.
Oh, so this is that same room, but it's a better picture.
Oh yeah.
So they have the brown shades, but it's still, I think it feels very just a little bit too neutral. Mm-hmm. It's calming, but I just feel like we miss an opportunity to have a little bit of color come in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why? Oh, okay. This is the last picture. I didn't realize it's almost noon. I got to go do a hands-on. So this was an office. And so you have, again, the artwork, you want to have it to scale. You're adding color in. You have windows on the left-hand side. So you don't necessarily need to have, a ton more art in there. But from the doorway, making sure that there was something on this back wall is important. And then if the, up here, these upper shelves didn't get staged, the lower ones did. So leaving this blank would have been kind of this big white wall. So what do you think? I would have preferred to have the artwork match better.
Yeah, I don't know. Me too.
This is one of my stages,
especially with the rug, like the chair and the rug, and I would have. And I will tell you that the empty bookshelves drive me crazy.
I know.
It drives me crazy.
We didn't have a ladder.
I have to have a ladder for everything. So. And you're exactly
the house. When I look at me, this is where I go back and look at you. So I like this picture, but in this shot, so maybe something that was more. It wasn't. It's not a busy pattern, but there's a lot more like little things in it versus the one on the right is just more like colored smears.
Yeah.
And so maybe having something in the back that was more like the one on the right would have been better. And that's why, again, buy artwork in duos if you can, because that would have been a perfect opportunity to hang two things that are complementary or similar versus two completely different, and they're similar size and scale.
Well, but, and I think on the long white wall with the bookshelves, I think you could have also done like 3 or 4 smaller things in a row there to break up the shapes a little bit. It would have made it a little more visually interesting, I think.
Yeah. I agree. And so we're going to stop here because it's almost noon. So we had a little extra long session today. So we'll be back again with another hit or miss. And hopefully you guys that are watching this are learning, some good tips. And again, nothing's meant to be mean-spirited at all. I mean, I put my own pictures in here and we're critiquing them. And so that's how we learn. We get better. And one of the best things you can do is take a look at other people's work that they do and what you like about what they do and say, and remember that, take a picture of it if you need to and say, I really like how they style the kitchen counter or how they put their pillows on a couch or whatever it is. And that's how you, adjust and improve your styling as well, because, and we've talked about this, there's not a lot of classes out there that are teaching people just how you have to place things, because a lot of staging, it's subjective. There's not a lot of hard and fast rules, but there are ways to do things better for sure. And we always want to be learning. So,
and it's important to watch those people that you really idolize. I mean, I look at their staging them, and now I'm like, I cannot make my bed any other way except like that. You know, so, and you know how I'm talking
or
about.
like, I'm not gonna post this picture because I don't want to get a mad face from somebody like that. You can see the wrinkled bed skirt or whatever. I'm like, I'm not putting this picture out there because I know I'm going to get a comment from somebody, and her name is SH.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Bye. Have a great week,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed at...
Okay.